In today's BizBeat, we will talk about the important step taken for China-U.S. cross-border regulatory cooperation. Last Friday, China Securities Regulatory Commission and Ministry of Finance signed an audit oversight cooperation agreement with the U.S. Public Company Accounting Oversight Board. It is to advance relevant cooperation in the near future. And Chinese stocks in the U.S. market surged in response, which showed real attitude of the market and public opinion on bilateral ties. There have been long-standing disputes between Beijing and Washington on the audit oversight of Chinese companies listed on U.S. exchanges. The U.S. Holding Foreign Companies Accountable Act, or HFCA, was signed into law by former U.S. President Donald Trump at the end of 2020. Washington has been using this law for the past 2 years to intimidate U.S.-listed Chinese stocks with a delisting timetable. Some have politicized the capital market regulation and even pushed for financial decoupling between the two countries. By the end of July, the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission had put 159 Chinese concept stocks on its delisting watch list. In mid-August, 5 Chinese state-owned companies, China Life Insurance, PetroChina, Sinopec, Aluminum Corporation of China, and Sinopec Shanghai Petrochemical announced they will voluntarily delist from the New York Stock Exchange. And the main reason is the requirement for Chinese companies listed in the U.S. to hand over audit documents. Since companies like PetroChina and Sinopec are among China's national-level strategic enterprises, it is unlikely that they will hand over all their internal audit documents to the U.S. side so that the latter can have access to everything inside the company. This involves China's national security. But the thing is, once Chinese stocks are forced to delist from the U.S. market, China will not be the only one whose interests are hurt. U.S.-listed Chinese companies have become an essential part of economic exchanges between the two countries. As of March, there were 261 Chinese companies listed in the U.S., with a total market capitalization of about $1.3 trillion, of which about $200 billion was held by U.S. institutional investors. The Audit Oversight Cooperation Agreement reached last week shows that the two sides are able to negotiate and find a rational and pragmatic solution. At the same time, this shows again that it is normal for China and the U.S. to have differences and disagreements. It is possible for Beijing and Washington to find ways out, talk things out, and sort things out as they should. It is also reasonable that Beijing and Washington have made a certain degree of adjustment during consultations to finalize the resolution of the problem. China has always emphasized that it respects overseas regulators' efforts to strengthen supervision of listed companies, but opposes politicizing securities regulation. This also provides a useful lesson for the current bilateral relationship. The two countries can reach a solution that addresses each other's concerns on some critical and sensitive issues, as long as they adhere to the principle of reciprocity and mutual benefit.